Hey, Joe, we're live.
Oh, well, thanks for saying we're live. All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 191 of Fans of Power. I'm Joe Amato, and I'm here with my partners in crime, Tyler T-Rex Baker and Nasty Nate, Nathan Kennedy. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Hey.
If you're wondering
Nothing.
why
Yes.
Tyler is so deflated, we're going to be talking about reveals.
Well, there's going to be more than just the reveals. But first, let me just say hello to everybody that's in the chat room. OranPax85, Fedmon, Zentron, Matthew Dutch, Zentron. I think I said Zentron. Yeah, I said Zentron because he wasn't here last week. Jason Cowie, Zen Brown, Curtis Ackerman, Grimbot, Anthony Albanese, Sarah Gaglione. I hope I said your name right. Oh, it's Anthony. I think that's who it is, but I'm not sure. Or no, she said hi to Anthony. See, I'm getting senile already. Sorry about that. David Clark popped up. I think I might have. Oh, Motu fan number 1. And now it tags Media Animation just joined us. Thank you for joining us. But no, obviously we're going to talk about the reveals of what we've seen at San Diego Comic-Con and what pertains to Masters of the Universe, because it was more than just Origins, and they showed Mega Constructs and they showed some Mondo stuff. They even showed some WWE stuff. But first, I wanted to say one thing, something that kind of drives me nuts. There's a couple things. One, in back of me, it's somewhere around here. There's a Scareglow custom that I did for John Itis that I'll be shipping out to him this week. And it was a dual one. And it's the context of sometimes I don't know what makes people... Okay, let's say there's something you don't like. Why go out of your way to go to somebody's page to say it? Just for an example, I see people do customs, do artwork all the time, but I've never gone to somebody's page and I see a custom and say, hey, that looks like shit. Oh, that's not too good looking. Or the same thing with art. Like, oh, God, that looks horrible. Why did you do that? But for some reason, anytime I'll post certain things, there's people that I guess they find the need of just wanting to shit on a custom. And they did it for this one. And a lot of it is context sometimes, meaning I sat there and posted that a customer sent me a broken Scareglow. So the Scareglow that John sent me, right up where the arm socket is, the arm's off, but right where the arm would have that peg, it's a complete hole and it's cracked. He was like, Joe, I don't know. He's like, you think you could fix it? Maybe get that arm to start posing again? I was like, yeah, I should be able to do that. And he said, and do like a Modulot crossover. I got these extra legs. See what you can do. So I did this crossover where I made the 6 legs Scareglow, 2 heads, and went all out. And there was just the people that were saying, it's ugly, it's horrible. And why would you have done that to an original figure? And I was like, I didn't do that to anything that was good. I said, did you read my paragraph up there? It's like they won't even read the paragraph of what I said. Oh, I didn't read that. Or why don't you read something before you say it? Or even if you did, it's like, does that make it any better? It's like, still, why do people sometimes go out of the way just to shit on somebody's work? I don't know. It's just, I don't know me. I've never done that to anybody. I don't know if you guys, well, I know you don't do custom stuff, but
Joe, welcome to the internet.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's. I don't know if you guys see.
Well, people can be assholes, and sometimes the thing with the picture, that's spot on. People, I've come to find out, people don't really like to read things on Facebook. They're just ooh, pretty picture.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say, like, people don't they don't watch my posts. If it ain't got a pretty picture attached to it, man, the hell with that. I ain't got time to read, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that was something that was getting on me because I know a lot of people, like I said, it has a different tail that I did to it, and it's got the 6 legs, it's got the 2 heads. I made a unique shield, just to do something different. But I see that so many times, and I just had to say it because John, I mentioned to him, he was like, "Why haven't you posted that in a lot of other groups?" I was like, because people usually don't read the headline with the picture and the context, they don't get it, and I said, I don't want them ripping into the thing I did for you, but just had to get that off my chest.
Maybe the cult is finally turning on Joe. Maybe that's what it is.
No. This has always been for any unique stuff. And by the way, Kevin Sharp, thank you for joining us. And Toki Deathhammer, they just popped up as well. But no, I've noticed anytime it's a figure that maybe you could consider rare, people will go bananas for. It's like, just first read before you say something. I mean, first, I just don't understand why they feel the need to do it. But if anything, read what's going on first. Like a long time ago, Tom Ace had he had one of the vintage giants. He had Titus, and his Titus did not have an arm. And I don't really understand molding and casting, but I was like, well, John, I'll attempt to mold and cast my original Titus arm for you. And I got into a way where it fit on his. and he made a faker Titus, and people lost their minds because they thought he, destroyed a very rare piece. But I guess I just
Well,
want to
Joe, I mean, damn it, if it's missing pieces, you can still sell it on eBay for like $180.
Right? No, that's what
I'm giving Joe shit about that too, because I just assume like, what the hell are you doing? You've took like one of the more hardest to find figures and just slapped black paint all over it. And
No, that was
blackout.
No, Tom painted it up. Like I said, I gave him an arm. I just made it complete. He wanted some unique, but like I said, with whatever people can do with whatever they have, that's their pieces. But I
mean, really though, I guess I'll break the cussing thing today. Fuck it though, right? I mean, he's sending that to you. It's his figure. Who gives a shit? Yeah. Like that's what he wants. That's what he wants. Who cares? Whatever.
Yeah, I've never understood. Never did. But no, now we'll start getting into some of these reveals, which again, I've seen some weird stuff about the reveals. So they showed for the origins. We've seen He-Man, Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, Teela, Beastman, Evil-Lyn. And they all look pretty cool. Like I said, I really like Teela. There's something about, I'm hoping that the face paints come out like how it was, but she looked really good. Evil-Lyn, something strange with her mouth. I didn't know if it was the lighting, and maybe David Clark would know here in the chat room or anybody else. I couldn't tell if it was like a lip glare or if they're trying to make teeth, like she's making like a scowl face, but something looks off. And this is where I got lost with the designs. Like I said, I love that they're coming. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to buy them all. But Dan did an interview with Ruben and I think their new brand manager at the Mattel booth. And he was asking him about the Origins figures. And first, he was saying, okay, when do these come out? And they're to come out in the fall of 2020. They're going to be retail at $14.99. And then he said, okay, as for the figures themselves, he's like, are they all going to be kind of like based on mini comics and stuff like that? And Ruben said, like, no, there'll be other things. He was kind of almost like insinuating that, yes, you'll probably get the figures you've had before in vintage form and maybe some new ones. But this is, yeah. And this is when I got lost, I guess, which was cool. But the brand manager, I think her name was Brittany. I hope I'm getting her name right. She said that each figure will come with a mini comic of kind of like their origin. I was like, now that's cool. I mean, if every character, hypothetically, I don't know if that's how if I understood her wrong, but I'm assuming like Beastman, maybe he'll have an Origins comic, maybe Teela, possibly. See, but what I don't get is when I first heard Origins, I guess I was under the impression they were all going to start being based off of early designs, or maybe they were going to take, like the Alcala style look of the mini comics as inspiration. But then when you see these figures, they didn't look like that. Like Beastman just looked like kind of the Beastman we knew, but maybe just slightly more angry. I don't know. Yeah. And Man-at-Arms was a confusing one. I was like, I thought we were going to get the mustache-less Man-at-Arms, but we got Man-at-Arms. I mean, Tyler, Nathan, I didn't know if I was just everywhere wondering, what does this mean with Origins? What is it? I don't know.
To me, it's just, hey guys, here's another part of us. You guys remember the old figures, right? It's basically, it's not, to me, it's not, the demographic's not the hardcore collector that's been around since the beginning and continues to love it now. Most of these people in the chat room, that they're wanting to aim at those people that forgot about it, see it on the shelf. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, there's a movie coming out in a couple months, right? Because I would assume by then, fall 2020. Realistically, if this film is coming out in 2021 in like early spring, a trailer should be coming out around the same time. So I figured that's like a coordinated effort to be like, hey, look, you guys remember this, and that's what I see. Like they're cool. I'll probably get them just to maybe keep them carded or something. Or I mean, with the articulation, it would be kind of neat to take them all out and do whatever with them. But it seems. Would it be Tyler? I know he's probably got a lot more to say. It feels sort of lazy.
Yes.
Like, I mean, at this point, most of the people here in the chat room, you guys, like, what you want out of this is something different, like something new. And this is just more of the, hey, guy, you remember that, right? That's what I get.
No. I mean, I don't have anything like that back here. I certainly don't have that, and I don't have that, and I don't have her, and I don't have her.
I mean, like
and I don't have him.
But it makes sense in the way that if they're doing this movie, and yes, I'm still saying if because you never know.
Oh yeah,
it is a good way to reintroduce everything. Don't get me wrong; like I'm perfectly fine with that part of it. I guess it's just sort of disappointing for. I feel like most of the people here, and for what I gathered, like in the comment section when Joe made some posts, some people are like, "Yeah, it's great, but I'm probably not going to buy it." Anything out actually in retail is better than nothing, though, right? I don't know.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I'm glad to see it coming to retail. Like you said, anything to hopefully spark the interest again. Because I understand. Okay, I remember when classics came out, which yes, we all love classics, and I knew a lot of people in the vintage line that said, "I just like vintage stuff." And you're going to get things in all the parts of He-Man fandom, and just like you do with any other property, but. Some just like classics, some like vintage. Some people that like vintage said, I would love to see the vintage figures with new, updated, articulation style like classics, which, yes, we are now getting. What I don't like, and like I said, I'm still excited for these. I'm going to get them. I love seeing them come into retail in $14.99. That's a great price. That's something that Joe can actually afford. Don't have to worry about online prices of almost double. But I guess I don't like the people that sometimes maybe just want to doom and gloom the line before it's even out. Because I've seen in a couple groups, it's like, okay, I know you might not be a fan of it, but do you really want Masters to fail? Like, let's say they're trying to get this line out to, like you said, possibly generate a buzz for the movie to come the following year, which, it'd be nice if it comes and just hopefully Masters can explode. You never know. It's wishful thinking. But I've seen some people say, that line's going to fail at retail. And some people were like, well, why is it going to fail? And they said, well, look at the Funko ones with the Savage World. Those failed. And I always think, what does Funko Savage figures have to do with anything? Because here's the thing. Yes, those are like an homage and basically, inspired by Masters of the Universe when you've seen the Mortal Kombat, the DC Primal Age, the horror figures, Thundercats. But there's some Masters fans that still say, you know what? I just don't like those properties. And sometimes people of those properties aren't real fans of Masters. And I remembered seeing it like when the horror figures came out, some people said, I don't like them in that Savage look. They kind of look weird. I wish they looked just more like how they should be in the movies. And then the Thundercat fans said, they look too squatty. I wish they looked more like, the Thundercat figures, a little taller. And then DC, people were saying, why does it look like this? They should look like how they look in the comic. So the thing is, for those, I guess, yeah, there could be issues, but this is Masters of the Universe. So it's not inspired by anything else, but Masters of the Universe. So I'm not going to put the sales on this to reflect on Funko stuff. It makes no sense.
I don't get the idea on the Funko stuff because when the Savage World ones came out with the horror icons, I saw them in stores, and then the next week I go back and nothing was there. So obviously they sold. I don't see how that's a
same
failure.
thing with the Primal Age stuff. I haven't been to a Target yet that didn't have all of them, except maybe one Joker Beast sitting on the shelf. If that's just some asshole sitting in his computer that, in his opinion, they failed, unless it's been like put out by Funko, like, you know what, we're not going forward with that because they just didn't do as well. I mean, I wouldn't listen to some asshole that you see in a group that just says shit like that. They've sold in our area, in our rural area. Those figures have sold wherever they were available. So
it's like with the Thundercats. I only saw those at GameStop, and that was for like 2 weeks, and they were gone. I never saw them again. So obviously they sold. People are finicky that way.
Yeah, because I think the only figures I remembered seeing at clearance were at Target were some of the Zorn figures, which some people didn't even know what the hell a Zorn was. And that was the first, figures that started that, inspired line of Funko stuff. And I think I remember seeing Liu Kang at Target. So, but you're right, pretty much I didn't see the horror figures sitting. Those sold out. Primal Age stuff sold beyond any ones that might be some variants, because I'll admit the Target in my area got a Batman variant that I think was in his gray and black outfit, and those kind of sat there. But otherwise, I thought they sold well. But I guess what I'm getting to, though, is still these are things that were inspired style-wise with the vintage Masters line, but Masters is what started this look and design, and now you're getting it again, now with more articulation. And I think, like some people were saying in the chat room, in a way, it's kind of cool for them to collect it again, because some of their figures from the childhood have just started falling apart, whether it's corrosion, the bands, you know what I mean?
There's no doubt about it, and I think that it'll be successful just based off of the vintage aesthetic. Like, in my head, I think most of these people are kind of maybe thinking about how ultimately 2000X sort of seemed like a failure just due to all the variants, and if they manage to stay away from that and maybe kind of do the Origins line like the original. Like if they went through and like did this and it was successful and they just started continuing to pump out more new characters that are familiar or maybe not so much to some other people, then if they were to just go ahead and release that and then release stuff that they didn't release originally after the fact, then I think everybody benefits from that. But
yeah, because like Tyler, real quick, I mean, first, it's I think we're not going to be getting Filmation stuff, at least from what I thought I've heard and what like Grimbot has said, that we're not going to get Filmation inspired figures in this line. But I mean, if they were start obviously doing things of maybe stuff we could have got back then, and along with things from, like you said, maybe Strobo, some more of the, you know, Powers of Grayskull things that we didn't get, or could have been concepts, new things, and probably, like you said, in mini comics like Geldor, Prince Daikon, you know, the Masters of Power demons. I mean, are there things that can get you pumped? Because I know, like you said, you aren't too flippant over this, but I mean, obviously you don't want it to just fail, because if this fails, then they might say, oh, nobody wants any interest in this, and then, well, go ahead.
I'm gonna buy all of them, because I mean they look fine, but they're just not exciting. And you know, I kind of expected it to be a lot more of a larger statement made by Mattel, that, you know, there's been all this talk for like the last 3 years that they're getting back into this. They're trying to find people's interest. Like, they're halting Super 7 from doing this, and they're holding back from progress on that, and because they're going to get involved. We don't know what they're doing, and you're like, okay, they're launching a new line, and it's the same figures. Okay, articulated. That's it, and they don't really tell you much else other than that. And it doesn't sound like this is the kind of line we would get a hero, you know, in this line. I mean, much like, I mean, that Super 7's already given us, or a Geldor, or a Daikon, or any Filmation characters. Like, I don't think that's the goal here. I almost feel like if they're just pushing the essential characters to draw interest from the general public, because a few months after they're initially released, unless Sony botches again, they have to push it back again, then all this is strictly to get the general audience or the general public aware of the characters again, and that is it. It ain't for us. $15, that's a bit too much for your kid, for a kid's toy too. That's not, I feel like $10 and less that's about the, you know, $15, you're getting closer to Marvel Legends and the Star Wars Black Series. Like, that's a little too close to adult collector's price, I think. And that's probably to pay for articulation in a mini comic, which is cool at first, but when you feel like, you know, is this going to be one of those things where you hire some guy to make the mini comics his own playground, and he starts redoing, you know, the mythology at their own leisure, and decide to change this and change that? They don't hire a quality artist. Like, we're not told anything about this line. We were given the bare minimum, and you just kind of feel like, well, these figures, they come out over a year from now. We're not getting anything else. Classics are done in a roundabout way. They pretty much said that Super 7's not putting out anything else with Classics, just the reaction or whatever. They have the license to do, like little kind of muscle-like figures, maybe just stuff like that, and that's it. So,
one thing for you, I didn't mean to cut you off, Tyler. There was one thing that maybe could be of interest, at least Classics-wise, with design and bucks, is I know Brian Flynn, they were wanting to show possibly the Thundercat figures that, you know, we were waiting for.
That's another thing, too. Look, unless you guys have got something concrete, stop, you know, cock teasing, you know, all the fans that are just constantly curious. Like, is anything happening? Don't let any of this stuff. I really just look. Don't say anything at all. Like,
sorry, just the way you said cock teasing, just.
Well, because it's just like, look, either you guys put up or shut up. You know, it's not Brian's fault, because honestly, he was asked something that he probably was not expecting to answer. But it's that thing of like, look, unless, you know, Warner Brothers is actually gonna, you know, play game with everybody and actually allow people to put out a legit attempt at Thundercats, I wish they'd just stop teasing everybody with these kind of, like, you know, rumors and innuendos and wink wink and, you know, double tap the nose. Well, I would say, but, you know, all this other shit.
Because you do run the real risk of something happening and you can't put it out.
Yes, and I understand that. We've been told about that for years, why we couldn't be told in advance who's coming in the full wave of Classics, because things could change and you don't want to upset customers. I understand that. But it just needs to not be brought up, period, or let things, or even address it and say, look, I can't answer anything like that, and it's kind of getting to where, like, I kind of feel like Mattel couldn't answer almost anything about their plans. It was like, this is it. Like, I thought you guys were really getting back in the game, and you're going to put out like a legit attempt. If you're going, it just felt like such a very uninspired, unenthusiastic, and just lazy. Like, this is it. Like, I know actually mentioned there's 8 figures coming, which means maybe PowerCon to be 2 more or something.
But
even
I was just gonna say.
But even that though, like, they're wanting this line to draw in the general public. I don't think a Prince Dacon or another original like character sitting on the shelf at Target or Walmart is a chance Mattel's going to take with this. I think they're really just going to push.
I think there's a possibility. I mean, you're right. They're going to push probably the original stuff that we've known, but hopefully if the line takes off, I'm sure that more characters could come. At least that would be the thing that you'd want. It's like you said with Axel. Obviously, I know there's things, if we asked him, he couldn't have answered. But like right now, I'd love to know, is he doing all the these mini comics, or at least being a part of some of them? I would love that. And like, how long is each mini comic going to be? Because it's something that I've been wanting for years. I mean, all of us have wanted for years, are actually new mini comics to come with our figures. And that's where I guess the whole thing of the title of this line, Origins, is the only thing that's always had me wonder, well, what do they mean by that? First, I thought they meant origins of the original stuff, of like where it all started in the mini comics. But now, since there is nothing on that packaging, because they showed the card art, and it looks like the vintage style, it doesn't say Masters of the Universe Origins, it just says Masters of the Universe. So is Origins possibly meaning pertaining to each character getting a mini comic that tells their origin? I mean, I don't know. It's me just, I guess, trying to think not outside the box, but wonder, what is that about? I'd love to know if they could answer that soon. Like, are these mini comics, like, who's doing this one? Or, I mean, are there multiple artists on it? I'd like to know these things, because I think it would make it more exciting, especially when you think about, because later we'll discuss that Mantenna mini comic, which, God, if it looked like something like that, that would have some,
I wouldn't be surprised unless they decide, we're going to keep Axel on to draw this stuff, or they're not going to.
I'd hope.
Or go a different direction, hire Kevin, or something like that. But
yeah.
I just feel like that we really should have been given a little bit more to run with, and like to kind of get the hype going, because look, I mean, we're talking well over a year before just this basic group hit stores. So, and we got nothing else going on. No more classics, no more releases. There's nothing to keep the engine going in terms of like excitement and hype and anticipation. That's why it was just such a like, that's it. There's no like longevity plans. Like, we're planning on doing this. Or like, obviously they're going to do some like tie-in toy line with the movie and all that stuff. But you kind of feel like, why couldn't we have gotten new figures that look like the Mondo statues? Like it's a, like, I was telling Nathan about this yesterday. Like when Hasbro did their 25th anniversary G.I. Joe line, and they're re-releasing all the original characters with an updated card back. The figure, it's Cobra Commander or Duke or Flint, but it's a up-to-date look. It's that look, but it's obviously more articulation, but there's more details. It's a more refined, up-to-date. There's more designs in the face and the outfits and things like that. And this just looks like it's the same figure with slight, and they made a point to say it, slight variations. Like, that still makes it sound like you're just buying a figure with that you already own, just that's articulate, which is fine. And I know people have been bitching and complaining about articulated figures from the vintage line. That's great, but I just kind of felt like there should have been a little bit more put into these figures, instead of Skeletor just with his mouth open, or a slightly lower set like main face on Evelyn. Like, that's just not enough, man. I feel like there should have been a little bit more put into it, like Hasbro did with the G.I. Joe line. Like, I don't care how many of the original figures you own, like, all those figures look so damn good because they were up to date and modified with that same look, but different. And I feel like that's kind of what they're doing with this, but it's not different. It's just not different enough, even though I will buy them all happily when they're in the stores. But I'm just bummed and so disappointed that was all that they announced, or no hints that we got even more bigger plans, coming up. And At San Diego, this is the biggest thing in the world in terms of like getting, the next year or next year's plans and stuff like that. I imagine they will have a few things announced at PowerCon, but I kind of feel like the big news, that was it. I just don't see them saving even bigger news than that for PowerCon because San Diego reaches a larger audience in terms of everybody. I don't know. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but I was so disappointed, like no details, and that, all their, we're getting WWE inspired He-Man toy, and that looks like shit.
Hey, you know what? I'll say something real quick about that because first, I've always I like doing crossover stuff. And
do you now?
Do you? And I had one customer, and I'm still doing his vintage one, but he commissioned me for a vintage Ultimate Warrior He-Man style figure. He's seen this, so I immediately messaged him.
Stuff like this, remind me to leave like a negative comment on your Facebook regarding
that's what you do. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, if you don't want to go through this custom, I don't have to. He's like, no, I still want the vintage one. He's like, but I'm going to get that too. And since that line was shown, first, I just like the thought of having an Ultimate Warrior and He-Man style, so I'm flipping over that. I can't wait to get the Ultimate Warrior one, and when they do the Macho Man at Arms. I think the Ultimate Warrior one looks like it came with that Savage He-Man spear.
Well, so if you want me to, I have some pictures of these that I can screen share.
And I'll say something. But either way, I'm excited for those. And I've had customers already wanting customs with this new articulated stuff, which these things are coming out, I think, by Christmas time. So we're going to get the WWE stuff way before the He-Man stuff. I wish they would have fed us some He-Man.
That messed up that gets released before.
Yeah, I would have wanted, you're right, give us some He-Man stuff. But, okay, well, I don't know if you can enlarge it, Nathan, but right now.
I guess I can, if you want me to zoom in.
Yeah, just slightly, just so in case for those who are listening can get like.
Now, you know what I am going to say that I do appreciate the Many Faces New Day figure.
Did you see?
I appreciate that. I like
and I do, that. And I do too, because I love when they were doing the WWE panel and at Kofi Kingston, he was sitting there, and after they did all the reveals of these, masters of the WWE Universe figures, they then showed him the prototype of New Day Manny Faces or whatever, which all three members are on there. And Kofi just looked like a kid again. He was freaking out. I loved it.
Joe, it's Kofi, not coffee.
Kofi. Kofi. Hey, I got an accent. Kofi. I got an accent, man. Leave me alone.
Kofi.
Your accent has nothing to do with that botch name.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so Kofi Kingston, anyways. It's like, I ain't going to quit, damn it. That's how I say it. But anyway.
There you go. Here's Tyler's favorite. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, look at John Cena in his jean shorts. That fits well in the world of eternity. It doesn't. Triple H is just wearing Triple H trunks. Oh, and he's got, the terror claws on there. But that's I tell you what, though, I'm buying them figures, and they're going to be great custom fodder, so I'll be getting a lot extra. But I wish that the choice of, as played by He-Man should have been Ultimate Warrior. This whole John Cena as He-Man thing just pissed me off. I was like, he shouldn't have been He-Man at all.
Ultimate Warrior kind of sucks too. I do like the idea that they
hey, what was that quick? But yeah, I like the Castle Grayskull ring. That was pretty cool too.
Warrior did kind of suck, man. Like him and Hogan suck. Sting's where it's at. Just saying.
That's it. You would have pissed me and Tyler off. I'm surprised they didn't have a Hogan.
I don't give a shit at this point, man. He can say whatever he wants.
I honestly kind of do like this ring though. Not gonna lie.
It is.
Because now the people at home can recreate the Fans of Power Survivor series that we did a few months back. So there you go.
I was gonna say, but not with any of this right here. Why is it Triple H has two figures? There's a one where it's like his King of Kings.
He's got two times the burial service. He's going to be buried everybody.
He's always
outside the ring. And
all right, here we go.
Oh, by the way, real quick, Sportimus, Toki Deathhammer, JSP, and Too Hunky for Toys joined us.
Now, see, this one's really dumb with Sting. Shit. It's fucking.
I don't like that claw.
That is fucking stupid. And if you're gonna do this, and I know it's like clawful and everything, but why not make those black to like match everything better? This is like Wolfpack Sting.
I don't like the reuse of the clawful design for that. If anything, since these are supposed to be interchangeable, at least I know I can take off the arm of another figure and pop it on, because my Sting is not going to be displayed.
That makes no sense. That idea makes no sense. If you're going to design them, the design Ultimate Warrior to look like an actual He-Man character with the warrior head sculpt and come up with something that fits, Ultimate Warrior. Don't put John Cena in jean shorts and tennis shoes and then throw on the He-Man on. Like, design, like, use the head sculpt and come up with something that fits the He-Man aesthetic. Triple H
without taking on the persona. Is that what you mean?
Just use their face and say this is John Cena as a He-Man character, not just
I got you.
Oh, it's He-Man. It's John Cena dressed up in his costume, as if like it's WrestleMania goes Hollywood again or something like that. It makes no sense. It looks silly as shit. Like Sting ought to be, play off the Scorpion aspect, like Scorpia, except call him Stinger or Deathlock or something, and just kind of like a black and white colored Scorpion like character with Sting's head. Ultimate Warrior should look like a great warrior. Triple H should look like an asshole with like a general like General Kale or something like that.
This Triple H honestly is kind of strange because they're using like the gimmick that he's been, but he has the purple long tights when he was in like DX, so that doesn't make sense to me.
No. It looks
See,
like
they can have Alexa
there.
Hey, they should have
Yeah, I kind of don't mind. I kind of don't mind that Finn Balor though. I know Tyler doesn't really know who he is.
I mean, I know who he is, but they still just look like wrestlers. They don't look like you're trying to play off the whole He-Man aspect, but they look lazy, look cheap. They look like
I don't like.
I mean, honestly, who is this for? Is this for adult collectors or kids? Because kids are going to look at Sting like, what the hell is Sting dressed up like that? Why does John Cena have a battle axe in armor? Kids aren't going to know what the hell they're about. Adult collectors, I feel like, I would think, well, who am I kidding? Like, Joe thinks they're great already, so.
I do. I'm giddy over that. I'll admit, though, as for Finn Balor, I wish they could have lowered something. I know what they're trying to do, the teeth-wise around his head, but it makes it look too bulky because I think he's supposed to be Beast Man with, like, his stuff as, like, whips or flails.
Right.
But, no, and hey, I can actually kind of like Stratos, Rey Mysterio Stratos. I'm in for that.
Honestly, I would say out of all of this, the Rey Mysterio Stratos is probably the best looking one.
Well, he looks closer to an actual He-Man character, whereas everyone else just looks like it's a wrestler and with a slight.
But Tyler, Roman Reigns is Fisto because he clocks his fist for the Superman punch. Hey, do you get it?
Oh, yeah, it's genius. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I do love Macho Man at Arms, though. The thing I'm wondering, I bet you it's just going to be interchangeable pieces, because I think some people were wondering, is he going to have the actual vintage battle? It's not going to be spinning like that. I doubt it. I'd like to be proven wrong, because other people like David Clark, a lot of people were curious, are they going to do any action features for the line, which I would love, but I think with the $14.99 price point and then the reuse of bucks, and then probably, like you said,
those are $15 too?
No, I meant, well, I'm assuming, I hope not, but if those were $10, man, Joe's going to be buying a ton of this stuff. Not only for my collection, but, oh, man, that's custom fodder. So many great things to come. So you got me all excited, Tyler. He's like, oh, great.
I don't know why you're excited. Even for custom, what the hell are you going to use a Macho Man figure for? And,
It's mainly the bodies. The bodies are good because there's a lot of stuff that's, just, it's already set for its, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's what I said yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and I broke my cussing. Damn it. Oh, and I just did 2 more. What is that? Could you guys stay there? I'm sorry. Keep going.
All right on. Is this going to be the point when like Joe comes back and he's like, guys, I gotta go. We're out of time. We gotta go.
Yeah, we're out of time on Fans of Power. I mean, I got nothing.
Well, it was asked in the chat. Do you think the crossover line would be better if it focused more on the older stuff, like older characters, like they kind of did that? I think your main thing is you want it to look more like something that would fit on that shelf with everybody else, and these don't really do that.
What Funko did with, or like what the DC Primal Age line was like. Even though they're DC characters, they look like they fit in that world. Even though that's clearly Batman and Joker. Those designs fit very easily. Not that there was the intention, but I feel like what Funko was trying to do with the horror line with them looking like medieval, kind of fantasy characters. Same thing with Mortal Kombat. I understood okay, that they look like He-Man figures that like they would fit right on the shelf. These things look like they just put them together the night before Comic-Con. They just don't look like they.
It does kind of go back to the standpoint that that seems kind of lazy, but also it's not Masters related, but I definitely want to. I got to show the people this if they haven't seen it. But bam, yeah, look at these.
Yeah,
Hang on, let me put that back on there. Yeah, here's another crossover for you, ladies and gents. WWE Ghostbusters with Stone Cold, John Cena, Shawn Michaels, and The Rock, and Undertaker as Zool. How cool is that? This was something.
You tried to defend that horse shit.
I can't on that one. No, I don't want that. I'd like the WWE He-Man stuff, but no, this. No, I don't flip over. And I wonder, I mean, any Ghostbusters fan in the chat rooms? Do you guys like these? They might.
Yeah. And I'm a Ghostbusters fan. What the hell would you want that on your shelf with the rest of your Ghostbusters? From real Ghostbusters to movie Ghostbusters, even Filmation Ghostbusters. Why the hell would you want The Rock and John Cena next to your Peter Venkman and your Egon Spengler and Winston Zeddemore and Ray Sims? Why would you want that? These crossover things, they never work. They look like shit all the time, man. Turtles and Ghostbusters is one thing in a crossover, but not as a damn action figure. You know, they look terrible. Who wants this shit?
This is great. This is why I wanted to do the episode.
The people who like to label me as like the angry guy, I don't like feeling like this. I wanted to be energized. I wanted to be excited about this stuff. I don't like.
Yeah, he was expecting more. Yeah, I know. Tyler was hoping other figures. Yeah, I know he was. Tyler was expecting like a little more to the line.
I really was. Like I was chomping at the bit. Like what's coming? What's coming?
Hey, but NECA didn't disappoint with their turtle stuff.
No, that was it.
Everything else was just kind of like, we kind of all saw that coming down the pipeline.
There was nothing mind-blowing. It was like, here's this. Oh, look, Marvel announced the latest slew of comedies coming down the pipeline, in the next couple of 10 years.
I am glad that they're going to go back and actually Blade is going to get a theatrical treatment. We'll see how that goes. And Fantastic Four is coming. So I mean,
with Shang-Chi and with the Mandarin, but I was like, and for a brief moment, I'm like, all right, I'm like, oh wait, yeah, it'll be silly as shit, and everyone's gonna laugh at Shang-Chi, and Blade will be PG-13. It's exciting for just a brief moment, then you realize who you're dealing with.
I want to shout out to Kevin Sharp real quick too, if he's still in there. I watched Shazam last night, and it was pretty good. I liked it better than the other DC stuff. Which isn't saying much, I guess, but I did enjoy it more than.
I think we know Tyler's opinion to that.
Oh,
too.
Yeah. Well, Kevin knows it all too well. Kevin enjoyed it. I'm glad he did.
Hey, and Natalie Portman's gonna be a female Thor. How about that?
It's gonna be awesome, and she's gonna be like all ditzy because she gets all glossy-eyed looking at Thor, and even though that's the way people bitch about women being portrayed in movies, but it's all right.
As long as they bring back Kat Dennings, because Tyler really likes her a lot.
Yeah, you can't have a Thor movie without that. I don't know. I don't have a proper name to call it.
But Shazam was pretty good. I recommend it. People check it out. It was something. It was pretty easy, and they didn't mess it up too much. So.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. I know Joe. We've already strayed off too much. Joe, we gotta bring it back.
Gookie Death Wrench is in the chat room now. He's like, okay, go ahead.
Gookie Death Wrench.
I'm just.
I'm gonna.
Pops up in the chat room.
Gookie Death Wrench.
Gookie Death Wrench is in the chat room now.
Like I said, I always acknowledge everybody. But no,
but you can just hear because Joe started, he's just hoping to God you're gonna stop talking because he just got it.
No.
Death Wrench is in the chat room.
Ghostbusters. I've only seen that once.
What?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like Joe would say that we're talking about Ghostbusters, and he'd be like, I don't know. I only saw that
once. So anyway, back to what I was saying about customs.
No, but as for this line, that's what I was actually getting back to.
Joe Papa Hood 69 just joined the chat room.
Papa Hood 69, thank you for joining us. There you go. I missed that. But no, this line, like I said, all we can hope is it does succeed, and then it can bring on more characters that we never had before.
Ghostbusters. That way we can get Jimmy Hart as Louis Tully.
I meant it for the He-Man.
No, they wouldn't do Jimmy Hart as Louis Tully. Who would they do?
I was actually getting back to He-Man.
They would do Drake Maverick, and he would come with the 24/7 championship. Tyler, I know that you don't know what the hell.
All right.
I don't know.
No, I was
All
actually
right,
going back to
Joe,
Origins.
finish your thought. We'll shut up. Go ahead.
No, I was actually going back to Origins, not the WWE. But I hope the line does succeed. Like I said, hopefully it can lead to new characters. And just like it was said by Ruben in that interview, and along with David Clark, you never know. Maybe we could get vehicles, other things. It would just be great to see Masters thrive again as we remembered it back in the '80s. I mean, it's a hard sell. Because you're right, without any type of movie or cartoon or media, it's going to be hard to bring in these new kids that they're hoping that will join on the line, which if they get attracted to it, great. But it's basically going to be relying on us fans that have grown up with it to buy
all
these
the more
figures.
reason why it shouldn't be the exact same thing with slight, ever so slight differences. It should be something that's going to bring all of us back to the stores and also let your regular average Joe go down there. Oh wow! Look at this badass looking He-Man figure. Like I remember He-Man. Look at Skeletor too. Like
yeah, it would. You're right. With more detail, I think it would be great. But I think you're right. I think they're banking obviously on people that maybe have not collected any of the stuff because they haven't seen stuff in the store for years, and maybe it will like tweak that little nostalgia.
But they even
thinking,
said it
hey,
too.
I remember.
Like they said that one of the goals was they know all of us own these toys. He made a point to say that. So,
well, true, but it's like we said, remember how many people have came to Classics saying, I didn't know they had anything. I've always said this. If Masters was back in the stores and it could stay there, and definitely here's another thing, Mattel. Do not do the 4-1-1 case pack ratio. Do not give us 4 He-Mans.
Oh, come on. Come on, Joe. That's how this works.
We'll make the even.
That is proven with
everything Mattel's doing right now with all the wrestling toy lines. You get 24 John Cena's and about 4 or 5
definitely
Triple H's.
They better make it even though. Make a good even case pack ratio so then we can't say, hey, look at all the He-Man and Skeletors flooding the.
But that's all people want, Joe. That's what they demand. I want Disco Skeletor in this line. Mattel, make it happen.
Yeah,
they're probably gonna ultimately mess this up because Mattel is just notorious for all of that. If it's not the variants, it is the case count.
But hopefully hopefully they could learn from it.
The idea of taking a chance with this. That's what I'm saying. All this doesn't sound like they're taking a chance with this. That they're going to bank on this small slot of vintage like figures to get the adults, to come back, and then they're going to release their movie-based toy line, and that's really about it. That and these other little rinky-dink spin-off things, but nothing that's going to draw the legions of hardcore fans back to stores or anything like that. That's what I'm saying. Something that looked like the Mondo statues, but in 6-inch form for us on the toy shelves, or even order online. I don't care. But it'd be nice to know that if you're not going through with classics and you're going to start all over with a brand new line with some modified looks, articulation, take it or leave it, whatever, but just something that's okay. That's over. This is the new line for you guys. Nothing like that, and no hints or nothing that says hey, there's more coming for you guys. Just be patient. We got more plans. No, everything was just like can't talk about that. It's like everything was a government conspiracy. Can't talk about that. Can't talk about that either. Why the hell am I here?
Tags Media did say that in with Pixel Dan, he did ask the questions about classics, and they did say that there were more coming. So,
well, no, they said that there's characters that they didn't get around to that they would like to do, but it clearly sounds like that's not a priority to them. And Super 7 sure as hell ain't the one could be doing it either. So it's just they can say that's like their way of saying, I just don't see them stopping everything. And making I could be wrong. Look, I want to be wrong on all this stuff, people. I don't want to be right. I want to apologize to everybody. I was an asshole. I didn't know what I was talking about. I was completely wrong. This is great. But there's nothing here that makes you feel indifferent because, I don't do this podcast because I'm bored. I do it for my passion of this mythology in this line here. I want to be excited about stuff that's coming down the pipeline, even if it's over a year away. Yeah, I'll buy it. But I'm not like counting down the days. I'm not daydreaming about it. I can't wait to talk about it with Joe and probably. I really can't wait to get my hands on that super frowny evil land. I just can't wait to. I don't. Feel that way.
And then when you and I hang out and we go to like Walmart or Target, we'll do that thing where we get out and we get in the store and I kind of get in front of you and put my hand in front and like I'm about to take off and run and get the jump on you. buy all the figures.
Yeah, well, we have to like, oh man, and then Nathan's like, you know what, I'm not buying this.
Yeah, fight over Red Skull again in the toy aisle.
Yeah, which we actually did do that.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were at one of our local Walmarts, and this was when Toy Biz was still doing the Marvel Legends line, and there was a Red Skull, and it was one of those things where they were lined up. I want to say like vertically on the pegs. There were like 3 rows, and we're both sitting there like looking at the sides, and we both grabbed it at the same time and looked at each other, and we weren't like letting up. So we both had our hands on the figure. Meanwhile, there are other figures in front of this, so we're each just like, I pull one of the figures off, he pulls another figure, and we're both still holding on to this Red Skull figure. We both pulled off the peg, we're holding it, and we're just looking at each other. Tyler ultimately let me have it because he was like, I don't want to be embarrassed by like fighting with you over this in the toy aisle. People can see us. And I'm like, I do not give a shit.
See, that's the thing. Like Nathan would have fought. Like I had my pride, and I just felt like that was back too when I would buy toys, but I'd go check out in the garden center for fear, like, somebody I knew was going to see me other than Nathan buying toys. So
I did not care.
Nathan did not care. So
spoils of the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the person. I just never care when I go grab the stuff. People see.
I mean, why would you? You have a mask on, exactly.
Hey, there you go. And Kyle Kendall and Eric Munoz, thank you for joining us. How'd you like that? You like that transition?
That's like a nervous tick that Joe just has to do. He's like Larry King, Kyle Kendall from,
I never thought of that. But hey, speaking of Mondo, they at least showed that really cool looking Hordak figure. The things are just too expensive for me, but
see all those things I can't afford. Like I cannot wait to see what I can't afford this year.
I wish I could. That's what I mean.
Great.
For people that have the money, it's great, but damn, they did look good. And I love that other merman head. The vintage one, it's kind of fine, but for me, it just looks kind of off compared to the figure. But this other merman head, they showed a good close-ups, man. But that and Hordak, you're right. Wish I had money for those. So anybody wanting Mondo stuff?
Why aren't we getting stuff like that for us? Like, why does everything have to be this high-end, out-the-ass collectibles? Why can't we get, if they're not doing classics, why couldn't we get something? Like a Staction line or something else to substitute? The anticipation and the wait and the hunt for new He-Man figures. That's not what we already have. So
I'm just looking here. $165. I'm like, add to cart maybe. I don't know.
You serious? You're gonna actually buy one of them?
No, I mean,
of course, Nathan would do that. He can do that, and even though
he could have them all sitting in back of them.
Yeah, they're sitting in the box still. And
I'll think about it. Hey, I've gotten better about taking the shit out of the box when it comes in the mail. I don't let it sit in the floor anymore for too long.
Have I pissed off everybody in the chat room? Like, is everyone
no
shit about me?
Nope.
Because of
this. Surprisingly, no.
Wow. No, I really thought like everyone would be like, "Hey, Tyler, this is gross. You just bitch and complain. You get sent in the vagina all the time, man. They know that big ego and this and that and blah blah blah."
It's true.
No, nobody did that. But nobody did that to you.
I mean, that stuff was spoken. We already know that. But the rest of it, I was just kind of curious if people were just.
Nope, nobody complained at all. Not even Chris Owens, who just joined us. That's another great transition. Like I'm zinging them in there. But in Mega Constructs, they showed some new Masters of the Universe Mega Constructs.
I don't give a shit about Mega Constructs. Whatever the hell.
But for those that do, they're gonna get Point Dread. You can get Point Dread and Talon Fighter. They have Roton. They have Battle Cat and Panther, and they have like some other new little minifigures coming. But so even Mega Constructs is putting out some stuff. But you're right. There's going to be that weird gap because we got to wait all the way till next fall for the figures in 2020. And then hopefully if a movie came out in 2021, just hopefully a momentum can carry and make it popular again. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So that pretty much is all that new stuff. Now, there's a mini comic we want to discuss before we get to all your questions in the chat room. And we know what's funny, Tyler, is this is one that, we pretty much have hated a long time in the Mantana mini comic. I still hate Leeches more, but this one, it's not really doing that much better. I mean, the story kind of jumps everywhere that's making you guess so much. But Tyler, the thing that cracked me up is I haven't read this since I was a kid. And
I couldn't read it when I was a kid, and I don't remember it at all.
But you know what? This is the damn thing for whatever reason. Part of this was always in my head. Remember for the longest, a couple times on this podcast, I said, Tyler, didn't they refer to this Fright Zone as the toy one? Didn't they refer to that as being on Eternia at one time? And even you said no. Everybody said no. But you know why? because it was referred to in this horrible mini comic. Because if you go through the Vine Jungle, they do have the toy version of the Fright Zone that when the monster takes you, drops you into the bottom of the lair. But I guess I finally found that out because I was going nuts saying, Tyler, I'm for sure they referenced it, and they did, but it's in this horrible mini comic.
Yeah,
so,
but you want to hold on to this tiny bit of trivia from this shit story here? Like,
no, I'm glad
this is your
the
moment
thing
of
is,
triumph because this
no,
book.
Well, I mean, I guess because it shows that I wasn't as crazy as I thought, and maybe when I was a kid, I was imagining stuff.
Were you losing sleep over this or something like that?
No, it's when I
Are
was
you lying to
mentioning
me?
it. No, when I was mentioning it, it's just you didn't know and nobody else knew, and I was thinking, God, did I just make this shit up in my head? Am I really that nuts? Did I just invent this story? But now I know it did exist, but it's in the one that I never looked back at because this one isn't too redeeming. So I'll pass it to you, Tyler, and then Nathan, you can discuss it. But while this is, go ahead.
I don't know what to say on it. I mean,
fine. I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and talk as someone.
Get the ball rolling because I'm like, I don't know how to start with this.
All right. Well, the main reason they always want to include me on these mini comic reviews is because obviously having a few of them as a kid and reading through them, obviously I've forgotten all of that stuff. And now that I have the book, I can go through and check these out. And this is by far the worst one that you guys have had me look through. And I don't want to be super disrespectful to the artist on this mini comic.
No, I'm going to be. So you go.
But it's pretty fucking
confusing.
Bad. It's pretty fucking bad.
It's everywhere because I mean, God, when the Horde, is supposed to be coming, it's like then you'll see Clawful and Whiplash and Jitsu and Spikor. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. It's whoever wrote the story and was drawing it. I don't know if they were told put these characters in, but. I mean, Tyler, you've seen all the insanity, didn't you, with the multitude of different characters that shouldn't have been there?
No, and just even reading the story, I mean, clearly, it's like with no credit on this book, it's almost as if, like...
No one wanted to take credit for it?
No one wanted to take credit for it, but what I can understand is how a couple like this one and the Leech comic, they both come out in the same year, oddly enough.
Fuck, crying out loud.
I know. I couldn't believe it either. I mean, why wasn't Larry Houston working on both of these? I mean, I felt the same way too, Joey. I mean,
I was going to be good, guys. I swear I wasn't going to. Next week I won't.
Hey, Joe's a good guy.
I mean, come on, guys. He eats top ramen and tells you guys to eat like him because he says he's going to buy the toys and he doesn't buy jack shit.
If you eat the top ramen, you too can afford the Mondo statues.
That's true.
Joe really needs to be wearing like a Bill Cosby QB, or dressed like Don West, and trying to sell you on the idea you can have this Mondo statue today if you order a value pack of top ramen noodles, the chicken flavor though. Free shipping. Like you can afford to buy all the Mondo statues in one lump sum for a minimum payment of $1,000 plus. If you have any scattered He-Man custom or like a bucks or anything like that, please send them as well too, like as a donation or something like that.
Sportimus says Joe Amato is awesome. Smart people swear a lot. Well,
thanks, Sportimus. I appreciate that. I must be a genius. I must be just a absolute genius. But Tyler, you're right. As for the ramen noodles, I only eat the chicken. I don't like that shrimp taste or the beef taste. It's horrible. But
dude, they get you back. Well, the beef. The beef always just like once you put the flavor packet in, it just looks kind of gross. It just looks like shit water. I'm like, why would I want to eat this? I do have a question here though. With Mossman, what is going on here? Is this like a design that would be used in other mini comics?
No,
at all.
No.
Okay, yeah, because I looked at this and I was like, who? Initially, I'm like, who is this supposed to be? And then when you see the dialogue with Mossman, I'm like, really? Oh, okay. Right on.
I mean, they all look like, what? If I guess I could say something, but then people would say I'm not being politically correct or something like that.
Well, you better keep that one in, then.
Yeah, so it's just an atrocious design of everybody. Like, everybody suffers. The Horde, the Heroic Warriors, He-Man. Like, everyone's just crammed in as, like, the Royal Palace is essentially, like, in this one like closet space, and they're all just oh god, earthquakes, and they don't explain where the earthquakes are coming. It's just the Horde. Well, what are they doing? I don't know. Horde has probably farted. Oh god, the tremors all over the place. I'm falling all over. They make a point to say it's the Horde's fault, but the Horde are just standing outside the Royal Palace. They're not doing anything.
Yeah, they didn't explain. You're right. There were so many things that were happening on
that Prince
Eternia.
Adam, and that Prince Adam is being drawn to the Vine Jungle. I don't know why. And I
Like,
the sword
how?
behind.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, when does he ever leave his sword behind? And you're right. It's something is making him go to the Vine Jungle. It's like, but who put this spell over him? How is this spell doing every single thing that's going on in Eternia? It's like they were trying way too much without any explanation. And like we've said before, some things, don't need explaining. But this, it had to have some kind of explanation, but there was zero. And you're right, the art doesn't help. It's not pleasing on the eyes. And I mean, I still hold Leech as being the absolute worst. I don't know about you, Tyler, but Leech to me is the worst mini comic, and this is number 2. I don't know. Maybe you have them in a different order.
You really can't say one is better than the other between these two. I mean, you really can't.
Dude, like, look at this right here. He looks like he just watched, I think of The Ring. They watch the video and then 7 days they die. That's what he looks like when she like comes after him. It's just it looks horrible. Like, usually when we do these, I'm like, here's my favorite panel. Here's my favorite shot in the entire. I got nothing on this one.
Yeah, I think the reason that I couldn't stand the Leech one more is they were even more out there with stuff, meaning they never really said how Hordak just became a giant. I didn't know what was going on in that Leech one.
Dude, there's no logic in this one either.
Oh, there's not. No, there's not. But Leech just takes the cake for just being a little more annoying to me, and also just the looks. Some things looked even just extra ugly in the Leech
or
one.
like, hey, if we attack Hordak from the back, you get him from the front. All they do is he just like punches them in the shoulder, like being an asshole, and it's like, what the hell? It's just it's a mess. It's a giant mess. Everyone looks awful.
Bad.
Like, I don't care that King Render has pink hair in this, and I don't care. That doesn't bother me. It's just, I mean, look at him. When Fister calls Grizzlor Budinsky.
This one it's hard to swallow, but we had to get this one. Definitely, we said we'd discuss all the mini comics, including the crappy ones, and this one is up in the top 2. Yeah, you can. If you wanted to
the bottom of the barrel, so don't expect commentary for the Island and Star Child to be down the pipeline anytime soon. Here,
I'll do the Island.
All right. Well, that is that mini comic. We'll probably now any questions you have in the chat room, you give to us, because give some good ones that might make Tyler just feel a little more relaxed, because this one has definitely got him pumped and angered. And he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't like being like that. But when there's things he's expecting that don't happen, I can understand anybody freaking out. But
I say let's piss him off more. Bring it on.
No, yeah. So you guys can put anything in the chat room. Now, real quick,
he looks like he's about to explode right now.
Well, my buddy Kevin just sent me a video of a He-Man commission he did for me, and I'm not in it.
Wow,
but
that's different.
It's pretty badass. He's sending me a video of like the final look of it here. He's kind of spinning it around slowly as he's doing some finishing touches on it.
Are you allowed to show us if you wanted to? Put it up to the camera?
I don't know if I sent it to Nathan, like for
yeah. If you want to send it to me, and I'll screen share it.
Okay.
You can do that.
All right, and then I will go to our Fans of Power Facebook page, because I believe we had a couple questions from Patrick O'Keefe. Some might be ones that we already answered, possibly. But he said, hi there, looking forward to another excellent show this week. Here are my questions in advance. Feel free to choose the ones you feel work the best for the show. Thank you in advance. Well, his first one, Tyler already answered, but I'll still say it. What are your thoughts on the WWE crossover figures? He said, I absolutely love the look of them, and we'll be getting several when they drop later this year. Well, I love them too, but you heard what Tyler said.
I hope he goes broke so we can't buy him.
Well, Jesus. Well, here's a question for you from him. Even though you might not care for the line, just curious. He said, number 2. While I love the
damn it.
You can't send it?
No. Well, I don't, because he sent it in Hangouts. So I don't know how to.
Maybe.
Could you tell him to send it to Nathan? Could he just send that message he sent to you to Nathan?
Yeah, Kevin, if you're still there and you want to just send that to me on Messenger, feel free to.
Okay. His second question was, he said, while I love the scene of He-Man, do you think maybe Hogan should have landed that gig? So I guess that's for you, Tyler. If you were to enjoy these at all.
What? Say the question one more
time.
Instead
of Cena, would you preferred Hogan?
I don't want to see honestly, I don't want to see the wrestlers, period, like any kind of mishmash. But you know, I feel like if you're trying to pick characters that look like they would fit this character, like the Macho Man at Arms, like I get out because of the name. You know, so yeah, the Hulkster looks more closer to a He-Man character than certainly John Cena or anybody else for that matter. But I wouldn't have liked it any better, and I wouldn't have wanted to buy it anyway. I think it's unless they were really going to, you know, take just the faces and try to come up with this brand new kind of character that, you know, and give them like a different name. Just don't call it. Oh, this is John Cena from the Masters of the WWE Universe, like. That's what I'm saying. Like call Stinger, you know, or call. I was trying to think of another one. You know, it wouldn't have helped.
Well, Jason Cowie says Papa Shango as Skeletor.
Yeah. See, there. All right. See that's
now you're talking.
To it. Yeah, and that would work. You take that and give him like a purple motif that looks more closer to Skeletor, but play out the voodoo witch doctor. Like that works.
As long as he can make Ultimate Warrior vomit. That's all you need.
Oh God! Oh, don't say that because I hate it.
That's where Joe comes in. This is where Joe can have his cake and eat it too. You can hire Joe to customize vomit coming out of your Ultimate Warrior's mouth.
I'll do it. There you go. I'll
like
do
the
that.
slime
Damn.
that he made for Nathan. Like the green. Like it'll be great.
I hated that black ooze that came out of his hair too. Oh God, I don't want to talk about that. Damn, that pissed me off. And okay, well he had a movie quote. He said, "I'm going to take you to the bank, Senator Trent, to the blood bank." So. I think
You're allowing another listener to steal my gimmick?
Well, he had one for you, so go ahead, because I knew this one right when I seen it, but I know you know it, so there you go.
No, I don't know it.
It's a Seagal movie.
I'm not going to know that.
Okay, hard to kill.
Yeah, but, Joe Amato is the Steven Seagal aficionado on the podcast.
No.
And we're not going down that road anymore.
Is it weird?
He's liable to get up and leave. Like, no, he will get up and flip over the thing and not come back. It just goes to static.
Everything's cool. But thank you for that. Grimbot said, well, this kind of sported us into Grimbot, but what does Tyler think of the upcoming season 3 of Netflix She-Ra, and is he excited about the new and improved Huntara?
Well, he's only watched 15 minutes of episode 1 of season 1, so that tells you all you need to know. Yeah. I stopped after season 1. Joe's still going on like a madman because he feels like he has something to prove to everybody, even though we ultimately have decided that
we're not watching that happy horse shit.
It's not for us. If other people
the show
like
is
it,
about
cool.
Pushing agendas. It ain't about telling a great, and compelling She-Ra story. That was never the goal of that show. So yes, I have seen because it pops up on such like the random clip of, the new Huntara. No, I don't give a shit because they're going to ruin that character like they ruin everything else. So I will not be watching that or anything else regarding that line.
So there you go, Sportimus and Grandbot. Thank you for that question. Zentron had a question, said, Joe, did you see the new Venger statue displayed at San Diego Comic-Con? I did not. So now I'm going to have to look at that when I get off here because, of course, it'll be something I can't afford anyways, but I bet you it probably looks freaking amazing.
I mean, if you guys want Joe's address and you want to send him all this expensive shit, just find a way to contact me. I can hook you up. Watch him get all nervous about it now.
David Clark said, question from David Clark. How much would you pay for a new mini comic? Well, I mean, I guess that's why I'm glad they are coming with these figures, because if you logically think of that, if they were to sell individual mini comics, they ain't going to sell anything.
Yeah, that wouldn't do well at all.
No. Yeah, so you might as well just put it with the figure. But I mean, I couldn't even imagine paying for a mini comic outside a figure because it'd probably be way too much. I mean, I don't know about you, Tyler, but yeah, I think that whatever they do, if they did something like that, it'd be out of a price range that wouldn't be logical.
I'm just worried that, whoever's writing it, that they're going to come along and just piss all over it and make these silly, goofy-ass stories and give Beastman, like, he was born a little Beastman, and he grew up and was the greatest Beastman of the Beastmen. And Skeletor's like, I'm going to hire you to be my Beastman, or some shit like that.
Damn, dude, you already did it. It's done. It's out in the ether now. You put it out there. Someone's gonna be like, you know what? That Tyler Baker's as good as he says he is. Let's put the pen to the paper.
I just like they don't get like a lot of the like the fan base, like hired people who've been working on this stuff for quite a while now and put them on. Unless they do something like that, I don't have much faith in them grabbing somebody who wants to come and actually honor these original stories. Is not going to come in here and just take a red marker and just scribble shit all over and pack it in there. Buy it. Well, if you don't like it, stick it up your ass.
All right. Well, Eric Munoz has a question for you, Tyler. Or not actually a question, but a statement. He said, tell Tyler to get into the Mythic Legions line. So is that something that you have?
I bought a figure from that. I just can't afford that stuff.
How much are those by chance? Because I actually don't know. I don't own any. How much are they?
I mean, at the time I bought, I think it was like $30, $35, maybe even $40 for one figure. They weren't cheap. I mean, they're awesome figures. And they fit on the shelf with the classics. Like, they look amazing. It's just one of those things that, you have to be willing to devote money to what the priority is. And, I think it's a great line. I wish I could collect all those because they do look great. And the swappable heads to make different characters was amazing. It's a great line. I just couldn't afford to keep buying them. It's not because I don't like it. I think this is stupid. No. It was tough. The Horsemen need to be doing all toy lines. Like, they need to be put in charge of everything. They can make shit toys look great. So everything you do is gold.
One other thing on that too, before I get to the next one, when you just said the Horsemen should be doing all of that, that was a thing that Ruben did said in the interview that had me slightly lost when Dan asked him the question about are the Horsemen involved with this, and he made it sound like in some capacity. So, I mean, are they not doing everything, or are they?
I think it's safe to say that if they were doing like what they were with Classics in 2000X, they would have just come out and said it. So probably not.
Yeah, because that was because you're right. That was a very vague answer. So, but okay,
that's what bothered me too. Too many vague answers to this stuff. I just
like you said, hopefully we'll hear
key.
Hopefully next month we'll get a lot more. Hopefully at PowerCon. And Matthew Dutch said I think one of the biggest disappointments of the Origins reveal was the predictability of the reveals. And he said what one character would you have to put in, or would you have put in the mix to change things up? So, just one. What would you have liked to really see?
Jitsu is a curveball. He's a character that we all like, but always seems to kind of get, short-ended or whatever. But I think that would have been a great mix to throw articulated Jitsu into the mix. But I think I kind of expected to be like and the standard cast again and again and again. I really was hoping when we talked about this, I was really in the back of my mind like, I have faith they're going to throw in one figure we were not expecting, and because of what of them doing like the Prince Adam variant, like it's another Prince Adam variant, but they were like, this is something in this style that hadn't been done before, which made me think, okay, we could get something that we have never ever gotten before to let this line is an amalgam of all kinds of He-Man mythology in this vintage style line. And like, no, it's just the same figures again with articulation a little bit and just some differences in the mouth, and that's really about it. Give us $15.
Okay. Well, as for me, I mean, I know it's a character that probably wouldn't show up till later because I'm hoping they do other size bucks, with this, the new articulation, but I would love to see what their Ram Man finally would have been. Would it have just been taking that same simple design from the original vintage toys? Would they took something from like a Texera look, the cross-cell art, look on the back? I would have loved to seen a Ram Man. I think that would have got me kind of giddy. But all right, but yeah, I like yours too,
Nathan,
Tyler.
Nathan, what would have like Oh, you know what?
No, there's not one thing in particular. I think I fall in the same mindset of throwing out someone that's just not that usual cast, that usual initial rush of, hey, it's the same thing over and over again. Maybe even do something different, like taking like a 2000X design and making it in vintage form. Just something that's just like, hey, we are actually thinking about this a little bit.
I'm glad, because I often feel like I feel like I'm like in a boat by myself about that, when you feel like we're just seeing the same characters, He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Skeletor, Beastman, over and over and over and over again. It's hard to get excited when they're not throwing out anything else, as if like, well, this is good. And like, it'd be one thing if it was constantly guaranteed you're going to get like, your casual public to buy this stuff along with us. But, it's just, I almost feel like this line is like, it's relying on a lot of us, us who already own these figures, to buy them again. So that's why I felt like it should have been incentivized to throw in a couple of curveballs into this line to say it's not just the generic Fab Five characters over and over again. We're throwing in something else to have you on the hunt for. It's like not much thought was put into it.
Okay. No, I understand. I respect it. I got you. And Sportimus has a question for you. And, well, actually for both of us. Oh, I'm sorry, David Clark. David Clark said, remember when several small pilot cartoons were purchased by Mattel and we saw a screenshot or two? He said, have you heard any rumors about a new Masters of the Universe cartoon coming? I got 2 messages probably about 3 weeks ago that they could be working on a cartoon, but I told these people, don't tell me if you know something, because I didn't know if this is something like that is a definite thing. It's just a weird coincidence that 3 people sent me a little stuff and were asking almost a similar question like David Clark did. So beyond those messages, I haven't seen anything in any social media. I don't know about you, Tyler, but I haven't seen if they were talking about having a new cartoon.
No, anything that just pops up is just strictly rumor and innuendo. It's not legit, believe me. I think if something was coming down the pipeline, and honestly, I'm sure there probably will be once a movie gets closer to release, because most companies that have this kind of stuff, like a new Spider-Man cartoon comes on, when a new Spider-Man movie comes out, they recycle. Can that one? Bring out another one. They tend to do that with a lot of these shows. They'll recycle Batman. They'll recycle the Avengers. They'll recycle this or that when another movie comes out. So
Ninja Turtles. That's also
Ninja Turtles. Yes, you recycle that again.
Transformers.
Yeah. Oh God Almighty! How many times has that been recycled? So I'd imagine it's not out of the realm of possibility if this thing by Sony gets made, a new He-Man cartoon would come out.
It just depends on how successful the movie is, and that's kind of tough to judge too, because you take, for instance, that newer Hellboy that came out. The trailers come out, that kind of looks pretty bad, and then
it looked really bad.
And then box office wise was a dud. So
I blame it on the fact that, once again, they're not taking the source material seriously. They're going for the Marvel formula.
Yeah.
Everyone likes comedy in their action movies now, so that's the focus. And that's what worries me about this, is that Sony's going to go for like the more silly humor, in whatever trailers we get. We're going to be rolling our eyes because Skeletor comes off as a putz, and He-Man looks like a real scrawny guy who's slightly toned, or something like that. And the jokes are going to be mentioned throughout the trailers. And so that we'll be laughing, slapping our legs. Ha ha! That's Skeletor, he's a funny man. He tickles my funny bone.
Now,
see what I did there?
It has been brought up in the chat quite a few times, and I could see that also as a possibility, because there have been a lot of crossover cartoons with WWE, like Scooby-Doo and the like.
Don't even mention it. Don't do it.
Where John Cena and He-Man have to team up to take down Skeletor and
Triple H, the King of Kings.
Yeah, but I feel like Triple H would somehow be a face in this cartoon, though. I don't know.
Yeah, where John's like, no, come on, He-Man. They can't see us. And then they tag team together. And oh my God. And that's when I have to have, right here live on the podcast for everyone to see.
That would probably get us a lot of views. And right before he's like, this is what I've always wanted.
I'll be like Keanu Reeves in Devil's Advocate. Free will, right? Bam!
Yeah, that would be Tyler's breaking moment. Anything like that. Well, Sportimus had a question. Said, would you guys be open to Mattel partnering with the Four Horsemen to do a new retail Masters of the Universe line using the sculpts and style of their Mythic Legions line?
Absolutely not. What are you talking about?
There's the Tom's answer. What about you, Nathan?
Can't you guys see I'm going down the brink of madness here? Yes, that would be anything with Mattel hiring the Horsemen. I sign off on it. I don't even look. Just there, go.
All right. Well, what if it was Four Horsemen designing WWE style figures in the Masters of the Universe?
Well, they wouldn't go the lazy route and just slap like neon colored shit on a wrestler.
But you would still sign off on that. You said you'd sign off on anything.
Yeah, because I feel like they would make Sting look like a Scorpion-like character. They would make, I'm I'm trying to think of another wrestler that would work, like Papa Shango into like a He-Man voodoo witch doctor. Like, yes, that would work. Or Kamala into something like that. Or Junkyard Dog, like Jake the Snake Roberts is a snake man like priest or something like that. That's what you do. You know,
I can't remember if it was.
Huh?
It might have been David Clark or possibly God. I can't remember who said it earlier, but somebody did say King Hiss and Jake the Snake as being like the same gimmick character. Yeah, somebody did say that earlier, so I guess you're on the same wavelength.
You could shed his skin and he becomes a snake too, or something like that. Playing up the He-Man aspect, not just he's got his shield with a snake on it, Gad, and he's got a sword that's shaped like a snake, Gad. Is it great? Give me $15.
Zentron said WWE Turtles. They already made those. They already had that
and
crossover.
They were wonderful. I just
now I will say they did have Raph as Sting, and if I were to go back in time to like 6 years old, I probably would have been excited about that figure. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Oh, they made so many figures on all those toy lines that I was a kid. Like, just because they're on the shelves didn't mean I wanted them. You know, I look back at all the variants that was in the Batman line and various other toy lines. Like, I don't want it because it's Batman. Like, no. So I see Nathan's perspective, but I just felt like, to look at is this, or assume that all kids are just meat with eyes and they'll just buy anything off the shelves. Like, it's a struggling thing.
Kids are dumb.
They are, well, from their perspective, but I think all of us have shared, and people who listen to this podcast, and I like to think that we all were pretty smart as kids, and we knew what we wanted. And we weren't just tricked or duped into buying just stupid shit, I feel like, but we also had a lot of very, interesting and unique things offered to us at that time. And in kids today, it's unfortunate they don't know any better because they're not offered anything else, because these people are not willing to take chances. And, if kids aren't playing with toys, well, offer something that they've never seen before, but. You got to be willing to take a chance with. That's part of if you're in the toy business, you're taking gambling or a gamble no matter what. If you're in the toy business, that's the whole point. You don't know what's going to be a hit with kids. Mattel didn't know He-Man would be a hit with kids, that it would make over $1 billion, but they took a shot. Much like I felt like Mattel should say, look, we're going full force with this. We're going to give it a try at retail, a brand new toy line that should appeal to the adult collectors and the kids at a reasonable price. And if it doesn't work, then we give it our best shot. But, I just feel like that's what you need to do. You have to be, if you're going to be in the toy business, or you got no business being in it if you're not willing to take, gambles on this stuff. I mean,
no, it's true. No, you do. I mean, you have to take a gamble at some point and just can't keep, like reliving stuff that happened back in the 2000X time.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like, how many more years has to go by before they forget?
Yeah, just forget that stuff.
I mean, if you're Mattel, you should know and have access to the numbers and the files and documentation of why that line failed due to poor case ratios and shitty variants. That is
very poor, and that was very poor and did flood it. So
yes,
indeed.
I just don't. Why is this? It's just like everybody, even if you're new to, oh my god, I was so traumatized by 2000X. Like, If Hasbro makes a shitty Transformers line, do you think it's like, oh, well, pull Transformers? Forget it. Can it?
Hell, I could tell you all the times that when I was going to the store when the 2000X line was out, and boy, we were all hot for it. I remember loved going there, and that's when I remember seeing more people in the toy aisles. But sure enough, I'd go into the He-Man aisle, grab something, and I'd see somebody else coming in. Then they start looking, and they're moving past all the variants of He-Man, all the variants. Variants, and they don't see anything else.
How'd this shit get in here? And he starts throwing them off to the side.
But it's true. And then they look at me pissed off because they see, oh, he got that, and hey. Happened to me. I remember I went in and see somebody having. I was like, God damn it! I know there ain't going to be another one there with these case back ratios. So no, it's true. That's the nightmare I don't want to see again. And Zen Brown brought up a point. Said, see, and Tyler keeps calling Joe cheap, but all night he keeps pointing that out. Well, I don't know if I was really pointing out that I'm cheap, but basically, yeah, I don't have the money to buy things that I used to. This stuff in back of me, this was all childhood stuff, and for 2000X stuff, and when I had some kind of money. But if you noticed, I never show my classics display on that side because there ain't a lot of them. I couldn't afford that stuff no more. So that's why you never see that side of my room.
But when I say Joe is cheap, I'm referring to the podcast he used to be on. If you listen to the podcast, like all the episodes, I've referenced when Joe was on all these other He-Man podcasts that are no longer in existence, and he would like to tell people how they can manage their budget by eating cheap and eating out of a bucket on the street, and you can still afford to get classics.
I'm used to that. Yeah, and I'm used to that. I still eat pretty cheap.
Like, what an asshole trying to tell me how to live my life.
That's right, damn it. Send me food.
Here I'm doing a podcast with them all these years.
That's great. Please send me free food, anybody. Okay, Carlos had a question.
Yeah, no Carlos, shame either. Joe has no shame.
Mondo statues. Can you do you have any like part of a steak when you went to Outback last? Can you mail
if it's raw? Like, I don't care. If it's still bleeding, is it alive?
I'm not joking.
I'll take it.
Hell, if they could freeze somehow, have that, like, what do they call it? Flash frozen something, and it could last till it got here with some of that dried ice around it. I'd be down for free food. Or if you guys just got any perishables, boxes.
Joe's like,
send me candy.
Bad News Bears, when he leaps over the fence and grabs his candy bar and just eats it with the wrapper still on. Like, imagine that's like Joe.
Probably.
I have no comment.
Oh my God, he's done it. He's done it. He's done it.
No, just.
And then he went to like take a shit and noticed like the wrapper was in the toilet, and he was like, "Oh, that's weird.
That's weird. How about that?"
Thanks. Carlos had a question.
he's definitely done.
Yeah, he's done with this.
No. If Mattel released a new Origins Castle Grayskull similar to the Funko Batcave at a similar price point, would you buy it?
Yes.
Hell yeah, I'd buy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Tyler? And especially if they added, like, say, maybe a little extras and some more differences and had as many features as the actual vintage Castle Grayskull. Because you're right, Funko put out that Batcave. That's a hell of a piece. Tyler has that piece.
And my nephew plays the hell out of that thing. Like, when he comes, he stays at my mom's house, and when they were in last, that's one of the things he goes to. I got him a couple of Primal Age figures. He plays with Batman and Joker. I got him some Thundercats to go with it as well. So he's all about playing with them, going through the door, playing the jail cell. I got him Ace the dog, which is like Battle Cat, and he puts them on there, ride around. Yeah, I mean, if that's, assuming that they're making it worth your while and not just repackaging the same thing, and making you feel like, well, we throw in this extra throne if you want to swap out the throne here, but it's pretty much the same damn thing you've already got.
Yeah, but, if they made some cool differences, that'd be pretty nice.
If they made it and it's not costing you so much, I mean, that's the thing about what Funko did with this stuff. All the stuff they put out, and the Batcave playset, I got on Amazon pretty cheap, but initially it was a little bit more expensive. However, it was an affordable toy line that I felt like if kids wanted it, they could afford it, and it was something that adults could afford relatively easy as well, which is what I was really hoping from Mattel. I'd really hoped that they were going to be pushing. That's why it doesn't matter to me if they're fully articulated or not. It was more about a brand new line that draws our interest and the possibility of new kids or new buyers too. So, I wish they had taken that Funko standpoint.
Yeah, maybe you never know. Maybe something in the future could happen like that. But I would love a Castle Grayskull. Yeah, you never know. Okay, David Clark said, should Mattel resize the Origins neck peg to match the Classics neck peg? Because I know that they said that you could see the neck pegs are slightly different, and you could kind of display the heads, but then they look funky. Like, I think it was Carlos, maybe. I don't know if it was you, Carlos. Somebody showed some of the Classics heads on the new Origins He-Man figure buck. And for me, it just looked weird because it looked like it was laying too low, but I guess I don't know. It just, the style of it didn't match the vintage. Something for me was off, but it'd be cool if they did. I just don't think they're actually going to go out of their way to probably resize the neck bag. I don't know about you, but I just don't know if they do that.
I didn't even notice what he was talking about. Like, I didn't see that on the figures because I just don't look at that kind of stuff. I don't look at the intricate pieces and things like that. That's just one of the things I look at the figure as a whole. If it looks good, great. If not, then like, ugh. But, I never look at that kind of stuff. I didn't even see the reverse shoulders with Roboto and King Hiss when people are throwing fits over that. I'm like, I don't give a shit. It looks awesome on the shelf. So
okay. Now I'm scrolling, and I did the stupid thing, Nathan. I did a refresh to the live chat, and I might have just missed a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, I hope
but-
you're happy with yourself.
Damn it! I hate when that happens. What the? I just missed everything because the next thing I see is another Dave, Clark from David Clark, or question from David Clark. Jesus Christ! I can't
Another
fucking
Clark
talk.
from David
Damn!
Clark.
God, I'm out. That's it. Joe's tired. Joe's gonna have to. I gotta drink something. See what happens when you guys try to make me not cuss. I can't even talk properly.
No one told you not to cuss. That was you.
Exactly. And you already broke your rule, so you can go ahead with it anyway.
You said it before we did the podcast. Like, I'm going to be breaking my rule for not cussing today. Smiley face. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
next week I won't. I won't next week though.
Well,
no, who's complaining? Who is sending negative fan mail to Joe about cussing?
I'm going to take a quick sip before I sip though.
I'm cussing. It's going to be fine. Tags Media Animation did ask, what did I get from Big Bad Toy Store? What was in this box? And
this guy's report was like, hey, enough of this origin shit. What's in the box?
What's in the box? It's actually.
I'm still here. I'm just drinking.
Yeah,
it's actually this Batman Beyond little statue right here.
Glorious.
Yeah. Which this is getting a release on Blu-ray come October. Yeah, so
that was something nice to get revealed.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Oh, and as far as other questions, I was seeing where Joe was reading them. Some of those were kind of like higher up there because we've had a lot of activity in the chat tonight. So thank all of you guys. Thanks for being here.
No, we really do appreciate it. I'm trying to keep up, and if we miss anything, sorry about that. David Clark said, "What other Mattel brands would you like to see translated into the Origins line?" I think by Tyler's reaction. Okay?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Bravestar or Captain Power. There's two properties that Mattel did that have gone to the wasteland. Like those two deserve to be revisited. Hell, incorporate it into He-Man. I don't. You don't have to come up with some sort of convoluted crossover story. No, like you just do it.
Okay. No, I'm listening. No, I heard. No.
I do have that video that Kevin Sharp had sent.
Okay,
you
awesome.
want me to go ahead and share that now?
Yes, please do.
All right. Get weird again. All right, I'm gonna have to full screen this. Can everybody kind of see what I got going on right here?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Go ahead and play that. Hide this too. Tyler, you wanna kind of describe your idea
I didn't
for
know
this?
If it was going to take. It was just like seeing a big action shot of favorite characters of mine, and just characters that don't get featured much or shown at all in a lot of stuff, and Stilt Stalkers, Plant Champ, Ceratus, Flying Fist He-Man, Lizard Man, Garn, the Native American version, and Huntara. The way Huntara should look. So I was like, I'd like to see a group shot, of this assortment of characters, kind of like a X-Men like pose, like they're all leaping into action. And I used the movie version of Castle Grayskull back there too, because I love that version. So it was just like an amalgam of an assortment of different elements of He-Man that are like either just don't get used that much, or damn it, I just want to see how would it look like if Kevin drew it, which is why I threw Lizard Man in. Like I want to see what Lizard Man would look like drawn by Kevin.
And Zen Brown says the movie Castle Grayskull.
Movie Castle Grayskull. Yep, and I'll have like a full scan of it to share from him either tonight or tomorrow. So it'll be like the full shot of it there too.
Well, there
that
you
is
go.
a badass. Yeah. That's a badass piece. It really is. Damn.
Link down below for Kevin Sharp. Hit him up if you want something made.
Yeah, I mean, you want a character that's not used that much, a personal favorite of yours to see him in action. Hit him up. Kevin be more than happy to draw it. Or Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Marvel, DC. He draws badass likenesses of all of those properties.
I still got to hit him up with my commission idea. I want to have.
Yeah, I want to see that done.
Yeah, I want to see Jaws like fighting Gillman from Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, with Hooper in a cage watching it all go on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe's like, what's that? I've only watched Jaws. I've only watched Jaws like 3 times.
I was listening. I was actually trying to see what I could do in the chat, but I missed a ton. But Adam Gabbert said, Joe, Tyler, Nathan, what's your favorite Masters Universe Classic creator character? He said his is Castle Grayskull Man. As for me, it's Drago.
I do not understand why does everyone like this character. I just talked to Spike about this last night. Why? Does everyone
quick thing about that? and I'm going to say something quick about that character. First, Drago Man is my favorite, but I remember when we were waiting for the reveal of what it wasn't he was he a club exclusive, Tyler? Because it's been so long, I can't even remember. Was he, or was he just part of the line in general, Castle Grayskull Man?
No, it was part of it was like an individual sub where you got Drago Man, the mighty shitstorm.
Oh, he was all the creative. Okay, that was it. Oh, yeah. Well, I remember the day before I think it came out, or the same day when they were doing the reveals at whatever convention it was. Somebody had a picture of Castle Grayskull Man, and they showed it. And remember, everybody thought that was a joke. They said, "Who made up this fake character? What's this about? Boy, that looks stupid." And then it was announced. They said, "This is really a character," and everybody was like, "Oops!" And then somebody was like, "Hey, I love it! I love it!" It's just. For me, I never flipped over the character, but Drago Man is my favorite creative character.
I was still like really pissed off that like characters like Rajar, Three Beasts, Bublor, Major Header, and Gangstar. Those were all those finalists for that contest. Like when I saw the designs for those, I was like, I lost my mind. Like I thought, oh my god, like these look amazing to fit in the mythos of He-Man. And when Castle Grayskull Man was picked, I'm like, oh, God, man. So it's a toss-up with what we got. It's between probably Drago Man. And I really like Fearless Photog because I thought it was such a kick-ass design. And it was
I expected him when we were a kid. Yeah, when we were a kid, I thought we were going to get him.
I thought it was awesome. So I'm glad we got that. So, but I would probably say Drago Man because I really had thought the Four Horsemen should have designed this mini sub of original characters. Like this should be given to all the horsemen to come up with their own idea for He-Man character instead of it being tossed around to just whoever would do it for free. I felt like it was a wasted opportunity when we could have gotten some awesome designs from the horsemen, or hell, when you see all those designs that Axel came up with, like with the Great Black Wizard and the Red Shadow, Bandwidth and Gladiator, Lady Slither, and all that stuff too. It's just, you feel like, there's still opportunities to come up with these new, what? It was Drago Man. I'm sorry.
Okay. No problem.
God.
Kyle Kendall said, "I'm totally with Tyler. The Masters of the Universe WWE makes no sense to me. Just more crap to confuse the new generation that they're trying to introduce to Masters." So, well, Kyle Kendall's with you on that. Sportimus had a question for Tyler, and that was right as I'm scrolling this down. Tyler, if you were in charge of a new Masters of the Universe retail line, what would you do to make it appealing to new and old Masters of the Universe fans? I think you kind of said something similar, basically what you wanted earlier, but go ahead if you want to elaborate.
I mean, look, I think it's important to make the hardcore fan base feel that they are desired as customers, because He-Man is not relevant unless people like us are keeping it relevant. If it wasn't for us, Mattel wouldn't be, giving a second thought to any of this stuff. They wouldn't have done classics or anything else for that matter. I feel like if it had just died in the 80s and only made it a couple of waves of figures, but kids took to it. And we went back and revisited it, searching for it at flea markets and the internet, and the rise of the excitement shows that, people who grew up with it, they're keeping it alive. So to just act like they don't matter and that their money doesn't matter, and that they're not important enough to make sure that they are wanted in keeping this brand new attempt alive, like that's a big mistake to me. Because I feel like kids are going to like it no matter what. If it looks cool, a young boy or a young girl sees a kick-ass character on the shelf. I mean, I feel like Darth Vader appeals to both adults and kids based on the design alone. They have not changed the look of Darth Vader to appeal to a 2-year-old. They keep that look intact because it works. So the same thing should be done with He-Man and Skeletor and Clawful and Man-at-Arms and Fisto and Montana and so on and so forth. You have to have something that's, striking. It's going to catch the attention. That's why it's important to have Incredible Boxer, which He-Man does, and they are doing that. But, the 2000 X line was a great attempt at that with the original characters, not all the variants and shit like that. But it just, due to, we're not going back down the rabbit hole, but I feel like an original design that has attitude to it. It has an edginess, but it also is not something that a very conservative parent is afraid to buy for their child or something like that. But then again, too, if that's the case, the kid's going to want it more, so it's probably not a bad idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not finished.
Well,
Quit trying to cut me off because
I'm not finished.
Death Ray's in there now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good. Wait. Now it's Death Ray.
Yeah.
All right. I like how it's evolving.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
Honestly,
it would be cool if Toki Deathhammer started coming in here every week with like a different variation of the name based off of.
Yeah, my botch names for like a random listener in the chat room.
Yeah.
Well, Matthew Dutch had a question for Tyler. Said, Tyler, any update on the Clamp Champ Ninja comic, and does it have a title yet?
Pretty much Carson has done all the layouts. There's one page I haven't seen him do, which is, or maybe like one or two panels, but for the most part, I've seen the layouts, the action sequences. Everything is pretty much verbatim of what I wrote down in the story. It's pretty much Clamp Champ versus Ninja. My name of it was like Game of Shadows, because it takes place in the caverns. Ninja is kind of running around in the caverns, trying to take out Clamp Champ and the Royal Guards. Is pretty much the story. So it's just pretty much a one-on-one fight between Ninja and Clamp Champ. He-Man just shows up at the very end. Doesn't spoil anything because the story is to focus on these two characters and this feud that's kind of played around with in some of the media, kind of like in the toy commercial too. But Carson's just never really got, I have no idea because I haven't heard from Carson that much. He'll post a random update every so often or just post something, and I have no idea what's going on with it. He's done the cover, or at least a design layout for that too. But I'm hoping to hear something because it's a great story. I'm very proud of it. The layouts look really good. I think people will enjoy the action sequences between all the characters and all the fighting that goes on in it. I think, if you're interested in those characters, I really think everyone would really like it. It's just getting Carson motivated to finish it because I have no idea what's going on with him. He disappears for long periods of time. I don't hear from him. And maybe if he hears this, he'll get motivated and send me something quite legit because people have asked me about it. I'm like, I don't know what to say because it's not, it's done. Everything's done. It's just, getting him to finish it. So if he knows that people are interested in it and wanting to see it, it might motivate him more too, to get it done because people are interested. So believe me, when there's something like concrete that you guys can start pre-ordering for, I'll let you guys know ASAP because I want to see what it looks like finished. Because there's some cool stuff in there. I'm very anxious for people to see it. And Joe, I won't charge you for one. Well, no, wait. Maybe I should because you hate getting stuff for free, like your charity case or something like that. Maybe if I give it to Nathan, buy it for me and he'll send it to you because you don't bitch when he sends you stuff.
I wouldn't go that far.
Send it with a bag of Doritos or something.
All right. Well, now would you accept a copy? Because Joe wouldn't take the copy, the Leech mini copy. I had to send pictures from my phone to Joe because Joe's like, I'm no charity case.
Just send it to him anyway. I think we'll be all right.
All right.
Yeah, I've learned about not having people get pissed off if they're offering something and I say no, and they might take it the wrong way. So no, if you wanted to, that's fine. I do appreciate it.
Like I said, if you guys want to send him a fan or
no fan though, that's too much. You can send cheap food.
I was letting fans at Walmart yesterday. I'm like, that'd be a really good fan for Joe because it was rotating back and forth. It looked quite cool. I'm like, God, I wonder if Joe would like that. It was like $18. It was a nice fan.
No, not that kind of stuff. A cheap bag of chips or something.
That's a cheap fan.
Oh yeah, let's mail Joe Amato a bag of chips. Matt Dutch also asked, I've always wondered how Tyler stays up this late for the podcast. According to Nathan, he can't hang.
Well, I mean, it's doing this stuff.
When we finish, he'll be like, guys, I gotta go to bed. I gotta go.
Yeah. Well, because, I have work early morning. Nathan and Joe do not. And Nathan's always been a night out. I do not. And I'm not. I never have been. Like when I would, in high school, when I'd stay at Nathan's house, he'd have me up till 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm half awake, but if he's making fun and stuff, I can stay awake because I'm laughing really hard.
Yeah, and then I would have to do my routine. I would still be awake, and then he's up early, and he's just like, "Oh, come on, man, wake up!" And I'm like, it's 8 a.m. Try me again in about 5 hours.
Yeah, so I just kind of lay there and like, should I just get up and go right now?
All right, Chris Owens said, "Did anyone order the San Diego Comic-Con Origin 2-pack?" No, because you had to be there in person.
Yeah.
That was the most bizarre thing. You had to put down the pre-order, but also that you're going. But then when you got there, you had to show them something. Then they're supposed to give it to you later or something. Like, I don't even know. And of course, now on eBay, I do see people that have it on hand, and of course, they're selling it 3 to 4 times the amount. So I was wondering. The thing I didn't hear any more about was I could have swore that they said if they had extra stock, or however it was said, that Mattel might sell some on their Shop Mattel page, maybe a week or two later. And if I'm wrong, I want somebody to correct me.
So I heard this. It wasn't from a very reliable source, but I also heard too that people that were trying to purchase this at San Diego, they had snipers above like the Mattel store trying to shoot people who were trying to buy it. They were really doing their best to make sure people couldn't buy this thing. I don't know why, because I guess
it's weird. It's bizarre. I mean, I hope that they do put some up on their Shop Mattel page, because I'd love a chance at it at $40. That's something that I could save and, do some money management. But otherwise, I ain't paying no 3-4 times the amount on eBay. They're mine. It's true.
No, wait a second. Okay. No, wait a second here. There have been figures that have popped up for $35, and you're like, I ain't doing that.
But this 2-pack, it's 2 for 1. It's got the amazing art of Axel Jimenez. I want that.
Of course, anything with Axel's art is worth buying.
I want that, yeah.
But I feel like his and Val's talent were wasted on that WWE Universe Masters stuff. I'm like, oh my god, like they could have been doing something else other than that. It's a waste. Oh,
they did the art.
Yes.
Oh, they were the ones that did the art. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay, cool. I got to get a big thing of the Ultimate Warrior if Axel could do that for me. If he could get just one shot at him. Curtis Ackerman said, "Joe, as a customizer, what are some things the Origin line get you excited about?" He said, "Any character ideas that'll be easier to do with new parts." Well, John Cena, his shorts gimmick, that will definitely help when I'm doing some characters with shorts and pants, because I have done that. In fact, I'm going to be doing some more drunk ors. I did drunk or for a customer to where I had a sculpt on jeans, shorts, rips, give the guy a big beer gut and a tattered up, wife beater shirt and a half balding head and a cap. So some of the characters definitely, it'll save me on sculpting. I think that some of them, I couldn't remember if any of them had just a fleshed forearm, just meaning not having bracers. And if any of them don't have bracers or don't have like boots and can show like more ankle, that helps too. Because there's always a lot of characters that sometimes they want shoes, they want this, and I do a lot of sculpting. Of course, I'll still have to do a lot of sculpting no matter what, but 3 people already have commissioned me when the WWE figures come out to make them some Jason, Freddy, Michael figures with those bucks, because they like the added extra articulation. So that'll be cool. But thanks for that. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to see if we got... somebody said, or Zentron said there was a quote, but I missed it, so Zentron will have to do that again. I completely missed the quote. JSP said, "What do we think the Origins line will do to the value of the classics?" I actually don't think it's going to affect them, because, classics will stay as is of the demand for that. This will be something different. Hell, I don't even think it's going to affect any of the value for the vintage figures. It's something.
The vintage figures have gone up in price now too. Where it's and that has no effect. It's nothing from a movie or a cartoon. Just people are asking a hell of a lot of money for a complete Cobra Khan. He just comes with a gun, or a complete He-Man, or a complete Evil Lyn. It's it's just kind of they're getting older and older as the years go by. So it does make sense that the vintage toys will gradually go up in price. Like Thundercats. Thundercats are astronomical. God.
Yeah, so you're right. No, but I don't think it's gonna. You're exactly right. I don't think it'll have any bearing on it. But I mean, I just like the hype. Maybe get people just hyped up about Masters again.
Oh, I wish I could be hyped up about something. It's...
All right.
Well, Tyler, maybe you can be hyped up about this. I found Zentron's movie quote. "I thought that noose looked too loose."
I don't know what that is.
Sounds like a rhyme almost. I don't have a clue, but I
thought quoting Roadblocks from G.I. Joe.
You know what? I might watch that tonight. Oh, I sent Tyler a picture of this. I was in Walmart getting some stuff, and I happened to walk past. They had like a 374 DVD bin, and right there on top was G.I. Joe Retaliation with The Rock, and it had a sticker on it that says, "Comes with bonus digital copy of G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra." So my plan is next time Tyler comes over here, I'm like, "Hey man, now let's hang out, let's play some video games," and then I just get Emily to help me strap him into the chair, And then I put on G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. And then after that, Retaliation. Give him a nice little double feature, double dose. Some of his favorite actors. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Channing Tatum, Marlon Wayans. He'd love it.
Look at him, he's so excited.
Yeah, there would be some cracked skulls and bones breaking that day.
All right,
and I'd be cracking
T-Dog.
my own to take my mind off the pain.
T-Dog made a comment, but I'll explain
I'm
this.
sure he made a so intelligent comment. Wasn't it about my tank top or my skin tone?
It's about Joe.
It's me. He said, "Why are you still wearing?" He said, "Why are you still wearing the mask since your face has been outed?" That wasn't me. It was. I forgot who did it as some kind of joke.
Understand, I didn't get the joke, as if this is saying this is Joe, but it's not. And people it was.
Some people, they thought it was. Some people thought it was. It was.
That's great though, right?
Hold on a second. Aaron Voorhees. I think it was Aaron Voorhees. He was in a Friday the 13th group, and he said he was trying to maybe tag me in a picture of something of Jason, but I wasn't in this group. But a Joey Amato popped up, and he was like, "Wait a second, I don't see Joe. I don't see this." It's some people thought that was me. It's like, no, that wasn't me.
Yeah,
that's a completely different.
Does people not know that you're not the only Joe Amato on this planet? So we just have to assume that anybody named Joe.
But he is.
But I sent Joe that picture of that NASCAR driver who's named Joe.
Yeah,
Amato.
Joe Amato.
Yeah,
I got that all the time as a kid.
No one responded to that because
they drove me nuts going in school. I mean, every time, and I knew it was going to always come from the teachers. Especially you get to it's the next year of school and you're introduced to this teacher. No, your name's Joe Amato. You related to the race car driver? No, I'm not. And then anybody heard my name.
I can't bring up something that doesn't have some emotional scar attached to Joe Amato. I can't talk
Isn't it crazy?
Joe. I can't talk NASCAR. I can't talk about this. I can't talk about that movie. Yeah, I can't.
Show me where the Abba Zaba bar touched you, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just feel like anything we bring up, Joe has it was a Monday morning. It was just a little bit dew on the grass, and it happened.
I really have some crazy. I mean,
let me project my thoughts.
Well, all right. I'll. This isn't really traumatizing, but for those of you that don't know, Nathan is actually my middle name. Why am I telling everybody this? Because I'm sure they're gonna be like, ha ha ha. But anyway, my first name is actually George. That is my father's first name. But anyway, anytime, in school, obviously when they do roll call at the beginning of the year, it's your first and last name, and the teacher's always like, well, if you go by anything else, let us know. So all those years with the same kids, just kind of ha ha ha, and I'm like, whatever. But then older people would be like, oh, the actor, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't know there was an actor for the longest time. I didn't know there was an actor, George Kennedy. Well, Naked Gun, Naked Gun, and all that stuff. But Joe, I guess it does get kind of annoying. I won't lie about that.
Yeah,
because all the stuff with George, where they're just like, Curious George and George of the Jungle and all this other horse shit. You do get really tired of hearing it. So I'm with you.
Oh, there was a hot girl we went to high school with. You used to love to call Nathan George, though.
Oh wait, well you got to do it. You got to say it how she would.
George.
Yeah. And the funny thing, the best thing though, is Tyler had a crush on her and was like, what was it you asked Sierra at lunch that one day?
I said, I pretty much asked, what's her situation? And she goes, well, she's got to think for Nathan. Yeah. But Nathan wasn't paying attention to her, though.
Yeah, I was in my own little headspace.
Back then, Nathan had everyone laughing, so that's pretty much what got the panties wet in high school. Is you could make them laugh. That's all it took. I'm
a bit of a charmer. Joe's got those qualities, I guess, with those hot topic chicks that he goes and makes out with at the railroad track with the apple tree or whatever.
Yeah,
apple tree.
Actually, steals their belongings and hangs them in the shitter.
Yeah, I took her book and I put it in the toilet.
The things we do, like that high school yearbook photo I showed, and everybody's asking, were any of these girls the ones that you flushed the toilet floor or from? And because I showed only, I think, the one page.
Had
but
you flush the toilet for? You just go in while they're taking a piss, and you're like, hey, "Excuse me, can I flush the toilet for you?" Oh,
my
Joe.
God.
And he
Shut up.
looks at, boy, you had to go bad, didn't you? I've never heard a girl blast ass before. That was pretty big.
Hey, now that I think about it, you know what? I'm kind of hungry. What are they having today? Salisbury steak? Huh.
Didn't like Salisbury Steak Day, but oh Jesus, well, that chat room, like I said, they were on fire for a long time. I think that's the end of the questions.
They're dying out on us here.
Well, hey, there was a ton of questions. That was a lot, and again, if I missed any, I am sorry, but I'm just glad everybody, like I said, they stuck around. I mean, like I said, we still had 32 people watching to this point. I was for sure once we started the Mantena thing and went into the questions, I didn't know how many people were going to stick around still. But I appreciate it. We love it. And we appreciate you guys always being here. And of course, I'll just do the quick little ending spiel. Remember, if you're new to this channel, make sure.
I can't show appreciation for people being here. Why is it only you get to take credit for that? Why can't I say I'm thankful for everybody that shows up to listen to us live or
every week?
Everybody.
You just did.
Everywhere.
You just did it. See? You gave your appreciation.
You still cut me off here. You're not allowing me to be sincere and genuine in my appreciation for this.
Hurry
the hell up.
If you're gonna do that though, I want you to move in close to the camera. Maybe take some of the water in your water bottle real quick and kind of like rub it right here, the way it looks like you're tearing up, like tears rolling down.
I got to play some Moon River or something like that too in the background. Just the music though, not the words though.
Go ahead. Let's hear your most sincere thanks to everybody.
You killed it. I'm not in the mood.
He's saying, "Nope, not going to do it now. Give me my ball." And it's just shoot. He just leaves it out. That's it.
Flip over the table here. Podcast is over.
That's it. It's done. I have a part. No. But no. Anybody new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, share, ring the bell so you can always get notified when we go live. It was a blast. We did love having you here. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see what we have coming next week. There should be some good stuff we'll do. So we'll
not from Mattel.
Yeah, that's it. We'll try to be a lot calmer. So, but yeah, so it was great. So until next time, I'll have a powerful day. Okay, say my fucking ending. I'm just so flushed I can't even fucking talk. Go ahead, Tyler. Quote. God damn, I'm just on a roll.
All right.
Apple Zapple, you my only friend.
Yeah. I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, damn it.
Oh, that's an easy one.
Well, all the more reason why it'd be foolish if you didn't get it.
I'm full number one.
Joe's like just kind of snorting underneath his mask.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait for somebody. I have no clue. So now I'm gonna have to wait for the chat room. Somebody will get that probably.
Is it Nookie Death Cloak in there? You get it?
Nookie Death Cloak. Poor Toki Deathhammer. Send me one of these Abba Zabbas. I've never had an Abba Zabba in my entire life.
I haven't either, but I like. There's a store around here that sells them, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, holy shit, half baked!" And then I came home one day because Emily had gone there, and because I always talk about it every time we're in there. I'm like, I need to get the Abba Zabba bar just so we can do a video of me doing that. So I came home from work, and there was that, and a note with "You my only friend." That's good.
Well, Matthew Dutch said he missed the quote. Could you do it again?
Miss if you're listening to us, like, how the hell did you miss the quote? What the hell were you doing?
Answer me.
Real quick.
Yeah.
For tags,
what was I? I was at home.
Well, really quick for Tags Media Animation, just want to say, hey, Scott, hope you enjoyed this show and you didn't learn anything bad from my cursing. So
have enough to have your ass.
Yeah.
So
buy a pack of gum and show you how to chew it.
Yeah,
ooh,
that's right.
That's right.
The quote one more time.
What time do you have? It's 12:22. That's right. All right, go ahead.
Oh God, I
gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, damn it.
I don't know that. I just don't know. Well, nobody's got it in the chat room, I don't think yet. So we'll see if Matthew Dutch gets it. I don't have a clue. So about 20 seconds delay. And if he doesn't get it, then you're going to have to give it to us.
And if no one responds in 20 seconds, Joe will be like, well, let's give him 30 more. 30 more seconds.
No. And if they don't respond, then we'll just wait longer.
Yeah, I did give a lot of time during that Jeopardy, didn't I?
Oh, my God. Just constantly, let's give him another hour or so. I mean, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Joe's on his playing with a paddle ball and playing with some jacks and,
I hated paddleball. I don't think I could get that sucker past 10. It seemed like it always just went in every other direction. Well, nobody could get it. What is the quote, Tyler?
Tommy Boy.
With Chris Farley and David Spade.
What a reaction from Joe Cox's
okay.
Michael Myers like, what?
I don't remember that. Wait, what?
What's a Chris Farley? What's a Tommy Boy? That's not
No,
Italian.
What part was that? I don't know that.
When they're trying to sell the brake pass and he's playing with the guy's cars, you're driving along, your kids in the back seat. I can do the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, damn it.
Oh, I do remember when oh my God, I'm sorry.
Oh
Okay.
my God. All because you want to save a couple of pennies. And the medic gets out, his puke just goes out. Rah! Rah!
What a sales pitch.
And the guy's on fire. Oh God. Yeah.
God, that was a good one. See,
That's
guys.
unfortunate because Chris would have made some shitty movies if he was still alive today, because he was going down that path of making bad movies. So I'm glad he didn't have the Adam Sandler.
I'm kind of curious how his Shrek would have turned out, because he had recorded most of the dialogue for Shrek, and then he passed away, and old Mike Myers came in with his one-dimensional. I'm just going to do a Scottish accent for everything and make bukus of money.
Yeah, God. Well,
Zentron said his quote was from Heathers. I've never seen Heathers.
It's been a while since I've watched that.
I've never seen Heathers.
And, hey, first time me and Tyler both haven't seen a damn movie. How about that? But okay, see you guys next time.
Start quoting some better movies there.